Trang Quynh Stealing the Cat by Vietnamese Folktales. Brought to you by TellStory.net, stories from around the world. The king kept a three-colored cat, a creature of such rare beauty that he treasured it above many of his possessions. This precious animal wore a collar of gold and dined daily on the finest fish and meat that the royal kitchens could provide. One day when Trang Quynh came to court, he saw this pampered creature and a mischievous idea took root in his mind. That very day, watching for his opportunity, he quietly spirited the cat away from the palace and brought it to his humble dwelling. The first thing Quynh did was remove the golden collar and replace it with a simple cloth string. Then he set about training the cat in a new way of life. He waited until the animal was truly hungry, then placed before it two dishes. One filled with rice mixed with fish and meat, the other with rice mixed only with boiled vegetables. The cat, accustomed to royal delicacies, naturally went straight for the dish with fish and meat. But Quynh had a rod ready in his hand, and each time the cat tried to eat from that bowl, he struck it lightly but firmly. The hungry cat, finding no mercy at the rich bowl, finally had no choice but to eat from the dish of rice and vegetables. And when it did so, Quynh let it eat in peace. Day after day, meal after meal, Quynh repeated this lesson. The cat learned quickly. The bowl with fish and meat brought only the sting of the rod, while the simple fare of rice and vegetables meant a full belly. After some time had passed, the cat would go straight to the vegetable rice without even glancing at the finer food. Meanwhile, back at the palace, the king discovered his precious cat was missing. He grieved for it greatly and sent guards throughout the capital to search every household. When the searchers came to Gwyn's modest home, they found a three-colored cat that looked exactly like the king's lost treasure. Their suspicions aroused, they brought word to the palace. The king immediately summoned Quynh to court, commanding him to bring the cat as well. When Quynh arrived, the king looked at the animal and demanded sharply,
"How is it that this cat looks exactly like mine? Did you see my beautiful cat and steal it for yourself? Tell me the truth."
Quynh bowed deeply and replied with perfect composure,
"Your Majesty suspects this lowly scholar of theft. Truly, this is an injustice. If your Majesty will permit a simple test, the truth will reveal itself."
"What test do you propose? Explain yourself."
"I humbly report to your Majesty enjoys wealth and nobility, so naturally your cat eats fish and meat. This poor scholar suffers poverty and hardship, so his cat must eat rice mixed with vegetable scraps and shrimp heads. Now, if your Majesty will have servants bring two bowls, one with fine food and one with poor, we need only watch which bowl the cat chooses, and the truth will be clear."
The king, intrigued by this logic, ordered the test prepared. 2 bowls of rice were brought, one mixed with fragrant fish and meat, the other with plain boiled vegetables. The cat was released between them. To the astonishment of all the courtiers, the cat walked straight past the bowl of delicacies without a second glance and began eating heartily from the humble vegetables. Quynh bowed again and said,
"I beg your Majesty's forgiveness and understanding. When people enjoy wealth and rank, they feast on fine food. When they endure poverty, they eat simple rice and vegetables. Cats are no different, they follow their master's fortune."
He paused, then added with a slight smile,
"Your Majesty's cat lived in splendor and ate only the best. How could it possibly be the same animal as this humble creature that prefers vegetable scraps?"
The king could not argue with what his own eyes had witnessed. The cat's behavior proved beyond doubt that it could not be the royal pet. Reluctantly but fairly, he dismissed the charges. Quynh bowed his thanks, gathered up his cat, and returned home, leaving the court to marvel at his audacity and cleverness. Everyone knew what he had done, yet none could prove it, for the cat itself had become the perfect witness in his defense. The story spread quickly through the capital, and people laughed to hear how Trang Quynh had outwitted even the king's vigilant guards. But those who understood deeper matters recognized the wisdom in the tale. that fortune shapes behavior, that circumstances mold character, and that the powerful and the poor are often separated by nothing more than the accidents of birth and the bowls from which they eat.